What's up guys, Biscuit here, and today on C++ for Idiots, I will be covering, uh, I'll go into more detail of what all this does, okay? But first I have to show you a reference page that you should know. It's c++.com, see? And if you go to like the forum, you can ask questions there. I normally go and find like, oh, this guy, and do stuff. I just look here and I'm like, okay, I can help these guys. So if you need any help, just go to the forum there, or if you want to go to the reference, you can do that as well. Anyways, I'm going to go into more detail on everything here. So, when you do this line, pound include, whatever comes next will be included in the file. So think of it like if you include IOStream, or it'll take the file IOStream and just put it here, like when it compiles, not at the moment, but when you build it by hitting F7 or F5 to run it. Just keep that in mind. It basically takes the file that you're including and puts it right here. Okay. The difference between the angled brackets and the quotation marks is this is a local library. So if I get like it be in your Solution Explorer, and see I have stdafx.h, and this is inside of my header files or resource files. And basically, if you put it in like this, it will be local files. So for example, if I do this, it will show me all the files I have locally right now, other than the one that I'm in. And it only does .h files. .header files, I mean. But these are all global files that any C++ program can access by default on your computer. So there's tons of stuff here. And those are normally the ones you're going to include unless you write your own class to do stuff. Okay, so now that that's done, and you should just keep that in mind, we're going to go onto this line, which using basically says, okay, we're going to use this. It's easy. Namespace. Okay, what a namespace is, if I go namespace, stuff inside the namespace. What a namespace is a way of containing a lot of data in one thing. So if I go std : all this inside there is inside the std namespace. So what you're doing is saying you basically use this namespace and then std. This is not a valid line, but this is in English what use the namespace std. It's basically what this is doing. So anything inside of std : you don't now you don't have to type std : So say I don't have this line, like I show you did in the last tutorial, I get errors on end line and cout. That's because end line and cout are a part of the std namespace. As you see, if I go here and I just go cout, it's right here. Okay, so now we're going to go into this. What main is a function, and anything inside of the curly braces is what's going to be ran with that function. We'll go over functions in a later tutorial because it's a bit more complicated than what we're going over right now. All you need to know is whatever's inside the curly braces is ran because main is the thing that runs first. These are arguments. We'll go over that in the functions tutorial, and I'll go over what all this means later because it's a bit more complicated than what I'm doing right now. Okay, so these are insertion operators. In C++, you can take an operator like plus, minus, that symbol and that symbol, you know, you can take those and add your own stuff to it, depending on how you do it. It's really weird. I'll go over that later. But basically what cout did is they overloaded, or they changed what this is going to do with cout. Like I said, I'll go over this later. But cout says, okay, so we're going to be using this and thing. So when you type cout and you hit the insertion operator, it's basically saying cout, and then whatever it wants to do with this, just continue with the rest of it. So that means that you don't need end line, but it ends the line. I should have explained that. But inside of these insertion operators, actually, from here to the semicolon, that's all part of cout. So let's say if I type cout this, and I just do that, everything after the insertion operator is going into cout. You see it's like two little arrows into cout. Think of it like you have cout and it's a truck, and then this is the symbol for, okay, all this is going into the truck. Okay, so everything in front of this symbol is going into cout, or the truck, and then you can type stuff like saying, oh, this is our package, and this is going into the truck that's called cout, and that includes end line, which is just a way of ending the line. And then once we put all this into cout, what cout does is all those values that went into cout, it then prints, if you didn't know already. So that means that if we get a variable, which we'll go over in a few minutes, like this, and we say, okay, we want to load this variable into the cout truck. It's kind of hard to explain like this, calling it a truck, but, you know, I'm American. Basically, we're putting this value into the truck known as cout. Okay. Just practice with that. Understand that it doesn't work in reverse, you know, that sort of stuff. Just understand that to print something, you do cout, insertion operator, and then whatever is past the insertion operator is going to be printed. And so what we have in here is a string, or okay, there's two things. There's a string and there's a char star. They're two completely different things. One has more stuff that it can do, and one doesn't. So, yeah, we'll go over that in the variables section. But, yeah. So, what this is, okay, anything inside of this, put it in our truck. Or cout truck. I'm sorry that I'm making it sound like it's a truck, or actually calling it a truck, because that's the only way I can think of explaining it. If you can come up with your own way, that's great. So yeah, anything after this goes into cout. Alright? So basically whatever's in this is going to be printed, and whatever's after this is going to be printed. So if you were thinking logically, and if you know that end line's actually just a variable, and not actually anything important, you don't actually need end line, you'll notice, oh hey, we can do multiple stuff. So if we put this, and we can end the line, which I'm not going to, for example, and we just put hiya other world, and you'll see that what gets printed out, and I didn't end the line. I'm gonna end the line anyways, because just why not? And I put that inside that. I hit F5 to compile and run, but as you see, it took this right here and printed it in the console, and then we have other stuff after it and says, oh hey, we have this, so put that in cout as well. And then what cout does is just prints it out. And without inline, this right here, press any key to continue, would be up here. And I'll just show you that. See? Hiya, other world, press any key to continue. So inline just pushes everything after it to the next line. So yeah. So you can have this, and you can have, oh, I want to print a number, like, that's probably too high of a number. No, it's not. Cool. But yeah, you can do that. So that's good to know. We're just gonna do this for tutorial's sake. Okay, so I hope you got printing down, because if you don't, just leave a comment, and I'll try my hardest to answer your questions. Okay, so system pause is not recommended in the slightest, but the other way of doing it requires more stuff that you don't know. So we're just going to stick with this. The reason why system is very, very bad is because it's very insecure. Not like the I hate myself insecure. Sorry for anyone who thinks that. It's just has vulnerabilities because it calls upon the program pause inside of your program. Therefore, someone could replace pause with something and screw up your program and do shit, and yeah, it could really screw up your program really badly if someone replaced the program with their own compiled program and you ran it inside of yours. So yeah, so basically this system is a function. The system is a function, and whatever's inside of these is in the parameters. Well, these. And the first parameter is a string, and that is the command, or it's a char star, either one. And all you have to know is if you want to run a command, like a batch command, you just run it by going system that, and then in quotes you put the command. So this is not recommended at all. You should never ever use this, but for tutorial's sake I'm showing you how to use it. And then return 0, we already covered that. It just says, okay, there's no errors, just return. And what return does is just ends the program. If it's in main, and you return like I'm gonna put a pause beforehand. If you do this, well, I can't actually. Well, if you return 1 beforehand, it's never gonna print hello world. See, it just stops instead of actually waiting for us to do stuff. So returning a number inside of main just stops the program if it's inside of main. I think we got it all covered, and in a pretty short time. See how it's a bit complicated, but you'll get used to it. And I just love it so. Feedback's always appreciated. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.